What's up, guys? So it's been a long time since I've seen you like face to face, and not like up in a little corner. It's a hard life being up in a little tiny square in the corner. So I'm finally going back to doing the Dragon Age Inquisition video that I had promised when it had to do with Pax Prime. There was a lot of information released, and the awesome nerd appropriate actually recorded every panel in Pax Prime, just the audio, not video. But they recorded all of it and they put it up on their blog, on their website, which I will put in the description for all of you guys to go listen to because they're so good. I'm so serious. If you guys are excited for Dragon Age Inquisition, you have to go listen to these panels. They're at least an hour long, some of them 45 minutes. A lot of them are 50 minutes, but they're all really informative, really good, and not just that, but they're really entertaining. You can get them on iTunes even, so you could just listen to them on your iPod or whatever. I'm including the biggest stuff, like the most important stuff. But there is a lot of stuff, little things that they mentioned that I didn't really put on here. So props to Nerd Appropriate for doing that. That was awesome. They released so much information, and I mean, they released that amazing demo. At first, I was kind of like, oh my god, I saw David Gator tweet that they had said, please don't record this. And so that it was closed, they had said it was behind closed doors. But it turns out that some people were actually given exclusive permission to record. So at first I was like avoiding the footage because I felt bad watching it. And I was like, I don't want to watch it. And then David Gator tweeted again that same day saying that it was okay that he didn't know that some people had some permission. So I watched it. I was like, okay, if they had permission, I'm gonna watch it. So I watched the demo, and oh my freaking god, it was so good. Bioware did have other panels where they just talked about general stuff, but I'm just going to be talking about the Dragon Age Inquisition information. So again, I recommend you go watch or go listen to those panels, the other Bioware ones as well, because those are really good too. So they had a panel of Bioware people that are focused in doing this for Dragon Age Inquisition, crafting and customization. They had like an art design guy and all these different people. I wish I had written down their names and all that. I thought about that yesterday. I was like, why didn't I write down their names? But yeah, I apologize for that. But they're all, the people that were talking in the panels were all working on the specific thing that the panel was about. So it wasn't like some Joe Schmo there, like, I don't know. A lot of the things they obviously can't talk about, especially because they're not in the position like David Gator or like Mike Laidlaw. Mike Laidlaw is the one that says, don't talk about this, don't talk about that, don't talk about this. So he's the one that told them, don't mention this or don't mention that. So a lot of times they were like, oh, we can't talk about that or we can't talk about that. But even that makes me go, oh my god, because even when they say that, it gets me excited because it's like, why can't they talk about it? I'll go into an example for one of them, which really made me wonder because I was like, So we know since early on that Dragon Age Inquisition, they're trying to go back to the customization similar to Dragon Age Origins, because in Dragon Age 2, the customization was really limited. I mean, you could pretty much just put armor on Hawk, and that was it. And you couldn't really customize it. I mean, you could add runes and stuff like that, but you couldn't change the armors for your party members, which I thought was so lame because I was like, I would get like all these armors for thieves and for mages, and I was a warrior, so I would just have to end up selling them or tossing them away, and I was like, really? And they were really good armors, and I'd be like, why even give it to me if I can't even use it? So they're going back to that customization from Dragon Age Origins where you could customize all of your party members, but they're even upping it. They're upping the customization more than even in Origins. They're making it so that you could examine each piece individually, like a shoulder piece or a helmet, and not only like upgrade it, but you could also customize the color. You could customize you can make it a specific material. You craft you could craft the armor. And it just got me so excited to hear this stuff, because they were like, you could make it so that, you know, let's say you have a piece of armor that you love, and you're just like, oh man, I'm gonna have to, you know, upgrade my armor because I'm getting higher level and I'm fighting better stuff, but I really like how that armor looks on my character. I had that happen to me so many times in Origins, and so many times in Dragon Age 2, where you had an armor and you're just like, oh man, he looks so good like that. And then you would have to upgrade your armor, obviously. And then let's say the next best armor looks really lame, where you're just like, oh, my other one looked way better. Like, sometimes I would want to just keep the other one, but I'd be like, oh, it wouldn't be the smart thing to do. So now in Inquisition, you could do that. Like, you could have an armor that you really like, and you make it look however you want. So you could keep the look, but upgrade its power or its abilities and all that, or whatever it grants you. So you could pretty much be looking however you want. And you could mix and match, and it's so cool. And you could do that for your party as well. And the cool thing is that not everybody is ever going to have or to look the same. They're not ever going to have the same armor, even though it is the same armor. Let's say you have 2 gold armors, and you want to give 1 gold armor to Cullen. Cullen hasn't been confirmed. This is just an example. Let's say you want to give a gold armor to Cullen and a gold armor to the same armor to Cassandra. But are they going to look the same? They're not going to look the same. They're going to look different. The Cullen gold armor is going to fit like a Templar, and Cassandra is going to fit. It's going to look like a Seeker armor. So it's just going to have little tweaks here and there. But even though they're the same armor, they're going to look different. You could look at details, compare, look at stats. Weapons and armor are more complex. You can have upgrades that can change the grip of a weapon. They didn't want to go too much into the whole magic thing and mages. And I think I know why. A lot of the times when people would ask things having to do with mages, or whether mages could equip other types of weapons, not just mage weapons, or if mages could equip other types of armor, like heavy armor. Sometimes they would say, we can't go into that, but they did say that mages, and they have said elsewhere, that mages will be able to wear that you will be able to cross-class armor. I forgot what that's called, but where you, like, say a mage could have heavy armor. They didn't want to go into the details of why or how. They were like, we can't explain that. It could be one of two things, or more, but I'm thinking more one of two things. Either depends on your specialization. Let's say one of the specializations could be they could go back to Arcane Warrior. So the Arcane Warrior probably will be able, they're probably saying, yeah, you can, because the Arcane Warrior could hold shields, they could have swords, you could put armor on them, like heavy armor. So maybe that's one of the cases why. But why would they want to keep that on the down low if that was already kind of the case in Origins? I think it's more having to do with what's going on in the world. I think it has to do more with what's going on with the Fade and the Rift and all that, because the Fade gives mages stronger abilities. So obviously the mages are going to be affected by the breach of the veil, because pretty much the Fade is in the real world. So mages are going to be affected. They're going to be stronger. They're probably going to have new abilities, and this is probably why they will be able to wear different armors, and probably why they will be able to hold different types of weapons. which is so exciting to me. And I think that's probably why they're not saying, why they're like, no, we're keeping that on the down low, because that has to do more with the story. Now, this is just speculation on my part. I could be completely wrong, but that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that's probably why they're not saying anything, because, or not really going into detail, because it has to do with what's going on with the veil and the fade and all that, which is super cool, because if it really is that, that's just one way that the world reacts to you. That, you know, it's not just like you reacting to the world is going to react to you. And that's what BioWare has been saying for a while now, that people are going to be reacting to you. The world is going to, the environment is going to react to you. Not just you. It's not just you that is having an effect on the game. The game is going to be constantly interacting with you, and I'm so excited about that. So if that's the case with mages, I really hope so. That's gonna be so cool. So the crafting system has a major role in Dragon Age Inquisition, and the Enchantment is returning. Pretty sure we're gonna be seeing the return of Bodan and I was about to say Grendel. Bodan and Sandal, and I think Sandal's gonna have a bigger role this time around. They're definitely going to have to touch upon what is going on with Sandal. That's what I think, because I mean, they've been hinting at something since Dragon Age Origins, again because of what's going on with the Fade. Maybe Sandal is finally going to be able to manifest what he's been, you know, hinting at since Origins. Another really cool thing when it comes to the customization is that you don't just customize your character, customize your party. You don't just customize your weapons, armors. You also customize your keeps. So you could make them look however you want. So going out and exploring in the world will also benefit you for customizing your keep. It's one way of saying, of making you feel like you should go out exploring, because you want to make your keep look a specific way, where you're like, oh, that would be so awesome if I got this and then put it in there, because you could find things and you could decorate your keep with them. So looking for stuff for your keep, looking for things like special things, special items for specific upgrades, for armor, for weapons. So all of these things are reasons for you to, or at least pushes. They're trying to push you to go out and explore. I mean, you don't have to, but for those of us, because I definitely would love to do that. That just think about, you know what? I'm just gonna hold off. I'm just gonna go look for this item because I really need it for so-and-so armor. I'll be right back. I'm gonna go do this. You know, just like little things like that. Like you almost put the quests on yourself, you know? It's not like you need to. It's not like on the list of missions to accomplish. It's just like a side thing, and it's like you're setting it for yourself. It's like you're setting goals for yourself. So everybody's gonna play the game differently, and I think that's so cool that BioWare is doing that. It's really opening the doors for different types of RPG players, you know, for people that don't want to do that. They're like, I don't really care, you know, just give me an armor, I'll put it on, whatever. You could do that. Or you could just like, dude, I want to make my own, and I want to make it how I want to make it, and I want to make it hot pink. Followers aren't locked to one weapon. Like, let's say Isabella. Isabella was a rogue, but she couldn't use bows. And it was like, why? She's a rogue. So that's not going to happen anymore. Rogues are going to be able to use bows, and they're so excited because bows now have strings. Wow! Now there's like actual animation for the bow, the string on the bow.
Pull the string! Pull the string!
Yeah. Upgrades such as crafted grips could increase stats such as extra damage, resistance, maybe accuracy, that kind of stuff. So there's different aspects of customization. There's the look, which is the visual aspect of a specific item, the material of it, the properties, and the runes. So you could put, say, a skull on a sword just because it looks cooler. So they were talking about putting skulls on things, and I was like, dude, so not only could you change the color, but you could put actual like things on it, like images. How freaking awesome is that? Not everything will give it a stat increase. Say for also leathers, that's all obvious. Leathers, iron, that kind of stuff. It'll increase your defense most likely. And also probably your agility. Weapon skills are defined by your specialization and not the weapon. So some people were asking, could you get like a specific ability for a sword because of some kind of customization that you did to it. You will get properties or boosts, but you won't get abilities. Abilities are they're tied to your specialization. When you're crafting, you could pre-visualize your item to see if you like it or not. I was a little bit confused as to the level of customization for your strongholds, and by level I mean like how much detail are you going to be able to add? Are you going to be able to customize the outside as well as the inside? I think the inside is a definite yes, but will you be able to customize the outside? That's one thing that I was kind of unclear. There are specific items in specific areas, specific creatures with specific items, and armor set pieces represent the locations and the culture. When they were talking about this, I was like, wait a minute. They mentioned Ferelden, right? And they've mentioned Orlais. They've mentioned Orlais and Ferelden. They sometimes say you're going from Ferelden to Orlais, and sometimes they say you're going from Orlais to Ferelden. And I think they're saying that because you're probably going to be able to go to them interchangeably. I think you're going to be able to go to both. And then they're talking about these cultures, and they're talking about how each piece represents a specific culture and how you can get only some stuff from specific areas. What if it's not just Ferelden? What if it's not just Orlais? They've only mentioned those two, but what if they're keeping the other places that you could go to? Let's say Navarra or the Tevinter Imperium. What if you could go to those places and they're just keeping them on the down low? What if they're just like surprises? What if they're just not mentioning those because they're saving them? They mentioned Ferelden, then said, and other places we can't talk about. When they say other places that we can't talk about, what other places are they talking about? They already talked about Ferelden. They already talked about Orlais. So what other places are they not talking about? I mean, at first I thought I had it down. I was like, you know what? I don't think we're gonna go anywhere besides Orlais and Ferelden because that would be way too big. And they're planning more games after this. Maybe they're saving the other places for those other games. But the more I listen to them talk, the more I feel like they're hiding something, like they're keeping something secret, and it has to do with the areas. I don't know. I mean, I would love to go to the other areas, but man, that this game is going to be ginormous if they do make it so that you could go to the Tevinter Imperium or to Navarra. I mean, they're talking about these cultures, and they're talking about all these items having a representation or a tie to a culture. And if you look at the picture of the Inquisitor wearing all those armors that they showed a while back, one of the armors it looks like it came from Rivain. Now, whether you just found that somewhere, maybe, but did you go there and get it? I don't know. They were all saying that you can't craft wherever. It was kind of funny what they were saying. They were saying that that they were fighting the archdemon in Dragon Age Origins or something like that, and that they ran out of potions or something, and they're like, "Oh no, pause." Bloop, 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 bloop. They just make more potions. So they're saying that so that you don't break that immersion. And so that it's a little bit more challenging. They're making it so that you can't craft wherever you want. You could craft in specific places. So I think maybe they're going to have like crafting stations throughout the world, kind of like crafting benches. But you will be able to craft in your strongholds as well. You are going to have like craftsmen in your strongholds also. Crafting isn't exactly a leveling system, but you do get more the more you use it. Mages can wear heavy armor. See, that's what I'm saying. You hear, you know, when it comes to the weapons, it's kind of like, I think that's probably more class restricted. But when it comes to the armor, it seems like there's more flexibility there. And I think when it comes to the weapons, that's probably going to have more to do with your specialization, maybe. But with the armor, mages could wear heavy armor. So I don't know if that also has to do with your specialization, but I think, like I said, I think it has to do with what's going on with the fade. Oh, some people were asking if mages were gonna have goofy hats again. That's like a running joke for Dragon Age, is the goofy hats for mages. I hated the goofy hats. I mean, and it's not just the mages. Some of those helmets are ridiculous. So I always had hide the helm. I always wanted to see my character's face, so I'm so glad that someone asked that. And they said that they probably will have hide the helm, where you don't, when, say, cinematics, and not just cinematics, also when you're just running around, if you could hide the helm, if you could hide your headpiece. In cinematics, I always wanted to see my character's face, so I always had it on. But yeah, hopefully they'll have that, and it's not just probably BioWare, you have to have hide the helm. They're making a huge point to have the game run pretty smoothly across all 5 platforms. Obviously, the PC is going to be an advanced form of the game when it comes to the graphics, and the next gen as well, like a close second. But they're trying to make the gameplay run pretty smoothly throughout all 5 platforms. So they don't want it to be very different, where some people, say the PC players, have a huge advantage when it comes to the gameplay than the console players. Obviously, the graphics is what they really can't. They really can't try to make it look better on, like let's say, the 360 or the PS3 compared to the PC or the next gen. So here's where I have the notes where someone asked, can mages have great swords? And they said, maybe, can't talk about that. Someone asked a really important question, I think, to a lot of people, especially the PC players, about the modding community. They particularly couldn't answer that fully, but they said that it has been said it's going to be hard to use mods on the new engine right away. It might take time after release. They're not completely ruling it out, but it probably won't be available on release, so that it might take time until they could finally, nail that. So the modding community might be on hold for a while after the release of Dragon Age Inquisition. But at least they're looking into it. This is another thing that is a huge detail for me. They didn't have this in Dragon Age Origins, but they had it in Dragon Age 2, where you create your character. And, I mean, you guys know this. I always see this in video games, where you could create your character, right? And then you create your character and they look one way while you're creating them, and then in cinematics they look different. Have you guys noticed that? I noticed that. So not like very different, but like slightly. So I always create a character and I'm like, all right, let's see how they look like when they're talking and all that. I'm really big about how my character looks like. If I can't stand the way they look like, I'm gonna restart that playthrough again. I've done that so many times. So having an option where you could change how you look after you created your character is so crucial for me and for a lot of people that have that that OCD about their character. So someone asked if you would be able to do that, because you were able to do that in Dragon Age 2. You had to go to the, I think it was called the Black Emporium, which I absolutely loved. I mean, you had that, what was, like, that one guy, what was his name? And he'd talk about urchin. He's all, no. Someone asked if they were going to have that type of capability for Dragon Age Inquisition, and they said that you were going to be able to edit your character afterwards, which is freaking plus. I love that. Always, you guys always have to do that in your video games. Oh my god, because it sucks so bad when you create a character and you can't edit anything afterwards, because you have to, if you can't stand that, some people are like, whatever. But if you're like me and you can't stand that, like once I see something, one little flaw on my character, like, oh my god, his mouth looks weird when he's talking because I made it too thin or whatever, I have to restart. I completely restart, and I'm like, not all armors are crafted. You still have legendary armor as well, like the Legion of Dead armor, like specific armors. You still have those. You will have an armory. This is what I was talking about, craftsmen. You will have an armory to craft your army's armor. You will be able to filter, stack, organize, mark to sell, and store in your inventory. You do have 9 other characters. I believe that's your full party. So yeah, that's pretty much it for crafting and customization. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that. Let me know what you guys think about all this cool stuff. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to you guys later.